What's up, Internet? Welcome once again to the Free-to-Play Cast. It's Friday, it's 1 p.m. Eastern. That means we're doing it live at twitch.tv/MMOBomb. And this is episode 367, brought to you by MMO Bomb, your home for all things free-to-play related. I'm your host, Mike Byrne, a.k.a. magicman. And we got a lot to cover, and I've been trying to keep the shows a little shorter. Like, I want to keep them around the 45 to 50-minute range. Chat, I'm sorry this one might go a few minutes longer. There's just a lot to cover this week. Every game and its mother got an update of some type or is about to get an update of some type. Then we got community management fun and stuff like that. Luckily, well, I guess not luckily, we have very few bombs or question of the week answers. So that while that is okay this week because we have quite a bit to cover, you guys got to start putting those back up there on YouTube and on mmobomb.com in the comments. You don't keep putting them up there. I'm just going to cut those portions of the show. No reason to do them. So get your weekly bombs. You've been slacking on the last 2 episodes. I've had to go and pick and get stuff. So make sure you're doing that. Chat, I know you hang out. You give us a lot here as well. But go ahead and put them on MMO Bomb as well. So for the next show. Now, let's get started here by introducing my hosts. It's an eclectic bunch of gentlemen that want to talk about video games, starting with Mr. Troy Blackburn, the noob fridge himself. What's up, sir?
I have once again graced you with my presence.
Indeed, but there's not a sheet behind you, so this is an upgrade.
I am in a different room than all of my belongings now. Finally, one room has been almost completed. So here we are, the official office, lighting and background stuff still needs to be worked on a little bit, but the office is complete.
Yay, it looks sharp. I like that half counter in the back there, that waist high
Yeah,
counter. It's like a marble countertop looking thing.
The dog food and water is stuffed in that corner.
You're working on a first look too. What can we expect? What's going on with this?
We're looking at probably a sort of a collaboration between you and myself, actually.
Oh no.
Yeah, sort of a MOBA-y battle royale type deal with classes. We're gonna jump in and take a look at that here. That should be coming up. We're gonna knock it out this week.
Next week. Yeah, it'll be next week. Probably look for Wednesday-ish, Tuesday, Wednesday-ish for that to go up. No, it's not a bless MOBA. Oh glory.
Jesus. No, I would. You would already see my face red and my blood pressure would be up, and I would be angry at the beginning of the show if it was a blessed moment.
Also on the line, ready to chat news, Mr. Wilfredo Rivera. What's up, sir?
Hey, yeah, this is hi. How are you? I miss people. I really do.
It's good to have you back. How you been? You had a couple weeks off. Now you've kind of you found your groove now here with doing the free to play cast, and got your bearings and everything. So you've been on for a month and a half now, 2 months. A couple shows under your belt. You're looking a lot more relaxed, like you know what you're doing. I like it. How you enjoying it?
Love it. I absolutely love it. Get to talk games with good people, and I just want to give a quick shout out to Robin.
Boy, we totally fooled him with that good people thing, didn't we?
Look, he misses people. Yesterday, I left the house. I literally wore a shirt that says, I hate people.
I have a shirt similar to that. You're good company.
I just said, what's this? Fuck off. All right, we got a lot of news to cover, so let's stop with the shenanigans and get started with the news. All right, as I mentioned before, lots of updates this week. Obviously, a huge release week just in the world of gaming in general. We had World of Warcraft launch its Castle Nathria raid and its Mythic Plus season. Then Final Fantasy XIV decided to drop 5.4 on the exact same day. And then, that little thing, Cyberpunk, finally released. And just a huge week of updates. On the free-to-play side of things, though, it was a huge week there, too. Whether they got updates this exact week or they announced big updates like Genshin Impact 2 just did today. December, you will have a very, very big update, your 1.2. That article will be up right after this show, so you can take a look at all the additional story stuff. This is the update that Genshin Impact fans have been waiting for since launch. 1.1 gave them a little something, but 1.2 is the biggie. we have all the details. You could check that out after I get a chance to proofread it after the cast here. But what did come out, Phantasy Star Online 2 released episode 6. They released their Christmas event. They held their monthly ARCS hours, where the hosts always have been giving away a little code. The code, by the way, is Rappy Holidays. Rappy Holidays.
Just a game through and through, isn't it? This is just like a Mike Byrne game.
All one word, all capitals, Rappy Holidays. If you go and you type that into chat, then all of a sudden you get a bunch of stuff on your Visiphone, including 100-star gems. So pretty typical package that the ARCS Hours team, the community team's been giving away on that show each month. They got it. I guess they got it in a little early this month, right? Because later this month, Troy, we have the PSO2 New Genesis live stream on I think it's the 18th. Of December, and then we have the holidays. So normally ARCS month happens, or ARCS hour happens later in the month, but I guess, hey, it's like after episode 6, there really isn't a whole lot going on in the PSO2 universe for a while besides New Genesis. So I guess it made sense to have the ARCS hour a little early this month. You have not played this, like you never jumped into it, Troy, when it finally made its way west.
No, I've heard you talk about it. You were so excited, waiting for it, and then it got here, and I know you play it. I know you're into it. It's just not something I've ever checked out, and I'm happy for you.
Like the looter shooter type stuff, your Warframes, your Paths of Exiles, your Diablo. I know you don't generally like. They've never been the top of the list for you. Like, that's my game for now. But you and I have dabbled in quite a few, and you've seemed to enjoy some of them. Division back in the day and stuff like that.
Yeah, for me, they're more of I'll jump in and play them for a little while and get some enjoyment out of them. But like you said, I'll move on to something else not long after that. So
yeah, PSO2 kind of hurt itself for me. I recently just stopped playing it, actually. A couple of weeks ago. I've been a big supporter since it came out on the Xbox. Everybody knows my love for the series, but they kind of hamstrung themselves in my mind by announcing PSO2 New Genesis, and that it was replacing the update for PSO2, which meant we weren't going to get like an episode 7 anytime soon. Now we may in the future get more PSO2 episodes and content, but since it was kind of like, hey, we're releasing this new game, I was like, well, why do this stuff then? I mean, I can gather cosmetics to use in the New Genesis game, but that's it. That doesn't kind of seem worth it. I think they kind of hamstrung themselves with that a little bit, Wilfredo.
It's kind of like when somebody says, a good example would be, hey, I got you a Christmas present. It's these 2 items. One's a really big box and one looks like a CD case. And you're like, hey, let me open up the small one because it's a small one. It's like, you don't want to do that. I'll give away the other one.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's such a punch in their own neck. How do you do that?
Oh, good call. Good call. It is a huge update, though. I don't want to shortchange it. If you're a PSO2 player, the update itself for Episode 6 is pretty damn big. You get the Episode 6 storyline, of course. You pick up the Phantom and Atoll classes, so 2 new classes if you want to run something up. There's new 15-star weapons in the system. There's a new winter holiday event, as well as a new Cuna concert, like a holiday version of Eternal Encore. Christmas on Ice urgent quest. I mean, it is a huge update. But by the same token, it's stuff that has already existed overseas. It is just bringing it into the Western version of the game. It is important to note, too, that this does complete, and on time, so credit where due, the PSO2 roadmap for 2020. I was somewhat skeptical when they announced that they are going to have it basically caught up by the end of the year, Wilfredo, way back when they announced that in preparation for New Genesis, presumably spring, summerish of next year. Maybe we'll learn some more on that specific front 1 week from today when they do their live stream. But yeah, they managed to get it all done.
No, that right there is something that shows that Sega's development team for the game, they're just like, hey, we set out to do a goal, we're going to do it. And I think it was kind of a sign that we were going to see that when they started doing the ARC hours. which is really cool because now they're giving you a bit of backstage information, letting you know, hey, this is what we're working on. This is when it should be releasing. Although Rappy Holidays is really bad. But for the most part, I appreciate
last month's was Arksgiving.
Yeah, I know. Which is it's the play on words. We need something new.
Well, we will see something new on December. I can't remember if it's 19th or 20 or 18th or 19th off the top of my head. Ninja says it's the 19th. Thank you, Ninja. I couldn't remember, 18 or 19. So we should see something new in that live stream. Maybe we'll get a release date or at least a release window, some new additional details. I'll definitely be checking it out, not just professionally for MMO Bomb, but also personally because I love my PSO2. Yeah. All right, let's slide over talk about Rocket League. They dropped their Season 2 this week. Either of you into the soccer ball, the ball soccer, the race car soccer? Either of you partakers?
I love the game. I am so terribly bad at it, but I do enjoy watching you stream it.
That's according to just like about everybody. There's like, oh, I love the game, but I'm bad at it. That's like everybody's line.
I've tried mouse and keyboard. I've tried controller.
Yeah. I think unless you're like talking to Musty or Squishy Muffins or whatever, the answer is, oh yeah, I love the game. It's a lot of fun, but I'm really bad at it.
To me, this is like, there's a reason why I don't shoot pool. This is it.
Wilfredo, king of the own goal. So yeah, this one does add this update. Second season for free to play does add a new arena. I got a chance to play on it a few times yesterday. I dig it. It's very like neon 90s, 80s, 90s, rave-ish kind of look to it. It also adds anthems, which is an interesting little mechanic. Or a little celebration. So you know how they have the goal celebrations in the game? The ball goes in the net, and then boom, whatever goal celebration. Like I'm running the Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man right now. So he comes running out, and then he, gets exploded. Anthems work the same way. It's you pick an anthem, and it's like a 5 to 7 second music clip that when you score plays through the PA system in the arena that you're in. So now, not only can you force your opponent to watch your goal celebration by not skipping your own goal celebration, but now they get to hear your fucking theme music play at the same time. Like, the game's already toxic as shit. It's so toxic. Like, I enjoy it, but it is so toxic.
Look, I need this in real life. When I walk in a room, I need a 5 to 6 second theme song to play every single time.
It is pretty cool. So I've enjoyed that. There's a new car as well if you get the premiere or the paid version of the season pass, which is like whatever, $10, and there's a $20 one that skips a bunch of tiers. Pretty par for the course on those types of things. So some nice additions to the Rocket Leagues. Those are available now, and I'm just going to let you know that I qualified in my ones yesterday to get ranked, and I played some last night. I finished last season at Gold 1 D2. I'm starting this season. Last night, I kept fluctuating between Gold 3 D2 and Gold 3 D4. So on the cusp of even getting out of Gold. So it's getting there. I haven't.
Nerd.
I have not ranked in 2s and 3s yet. I still have to play 10 matches, so we'll get to that. What's next? EverQuest. I don't know. Like you guys know that's still a thing, right?
Dude, the fact that this game still gets anything that they can call an expansion is amazing. I mean, seriously.
This is the granddaddy of MMOs. Like, what
Dude.
the hell?
Yeah, and we're not talking EQ too. We're talking the original EQ.
Original freaking
OG
EverQuest.
EQ.
Still gets updates to this day, ladies and gentlemen.
Like, this is just
developers take notes.
This is just a weird sentence to say. EverQuest is getting its 26th expansion. It's actually live already. So that was earlier this week. But if you didn't know, yeah, it's 26th expansion. That is a nutty sentence from top to bottom. Claws of Vishon, it's live. Jason says, if you thought 2020 was bad for us, check out this description. Velios is overwhelmed with writhing ice, frozen undead swarm everywhere. And Jason says, suddenly, not being able to safely dine in restaurants doesn't seem so bad. It just doesn't seem so bad. It's all a silver lining thing, right? When was the last time, Troy, you sunk time into EQ or EQ2?
Oh man, a couple of years ago, I dove into EQ2 just a little bit, just for some retro perspective. As far as the original EQ, it's been a long time. It's been a long ways back since I played that.
What about you, sir?
EQ2, I think, was a year ago, but EverQuest, summer of 2001.
What?
I remember.
Okay, wait. That was like oddly specific. Like
I remember.
Like there's a story tied there because he was like,
Right?
summer.
There is.
June 28th, 2001, 4 p.m. Eastern time.
There is a bit of a story.
Go.
So
I gotta hear it.
So
Yeah.
During that time, me and Minja, Min this moment, who pops up into the chat every now and then, we were playing EverQuest on his laptop at the time. And I won't forget this because it was, like I said, summer 2001. We had just gotten off of work. We came back to his place. We started playing. We were alternating in between. And then his mom yelled at us because we were still using dial-up. And we kept tying up the phone line.
That's like me and PSO2, man. Or the original PSO on Dreamcast. Tying up the...
Like, it was hilarious because she's a nice, beautiful woman. Sweet. Came into the room. Get off the line. All right.
And that was the end of my EverQuest experience.
And just yesterday, my brother and I were talking about an old school, like we would fly like a Fortress bomber together on AOL on dial-up. We were just talking about that last night, the freaking dial-up days, and how memory-wise that game was amazing looking, right? But I've gone back and looked it up since then. It's so pixely, I can't tell what's going on now. Like I don't like this is not the game. Like this was high fidelity graphics.
Yep. It's what's like the
amazing what
love,
your
like,
memory will do.
you know, you look back at Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation, and in your head, that was like groundbreaking and beautiful and over the top. And then you go back and look at it now, and you're like, yeah, it was. I mean, it was groundbreaking at the time, but Jesus, man. What's up with Cloud's Popeye arms?
Man, the latest one that got me, not to just keep sidetracking this, was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Yes.
I remember that on PS2. I sunk so much of my life into that game, and I've got it on Steam. I've had it on Steam forever as part of like a Humble Bundle or something. So I went to download it like 6 months ago, and just for nostalgia, and I loaded it, and I was like,
nope.
Screw this. No, not playing this. We'll go back to GTA 5.
Here's God, we're never gonna get things done. So my daughter's 13, right? And she just recently, a couple of weeks ago, like my wife and I are very particular about, you know, when they were younger, what they could play, how long they could play it, screen time, homework, like stuff like that. That was rated mature? No. Sorry, you're 8. You're not, it's not gonna happen. Well, it's just blood. No, doesn't matter. You know, we're parents. You're the kid. No. So my daughter is 13. She comes up to me. She's like, well, do you think I could play GTA 5 now? And I'm like, wait, what do you mean? And she was like, well, I've never been allowed to play it. And it had been so long since, like, because all my kids are older now. Like, my oldest is 19. My other son is 16. And my daughter's my youngest at 13, you know. So this conversation of screen time management or maturity content and stuff like that hasn't happened for a while. She says, well, you guys have never let me play it. And I said, okay, well, yeah. I said, you know, do you, and I've told this story before, so I'll keep this portion short to get to what I really wanted to mention with, you know not to beat up hookers in real life, right? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, you know not to run from cops in real life, right? Yes. And I'm like, and if you pay a hooker, you don't then beat her and kill her and take your money back, right? And she's like, yes. And I said, this is very important. You be honorable in those transactions. If you pay a hooker, you pay the hooker. And so my daughter's like laughing and everything. I tell you that just so she's been playing Grand Theft Auto 5 lately. There was some video she was watching on YouTube yesterday as I walked through the room, and they were showing clips of different games for whatever reason. I don't know what the context of it. It was some top 10 list or something. And Vice City was one of the clips running, and she was like, "What is this?" And I said, "Dude, that's Grand Theft Auto Vice City. You like Grand Theft Auto?" She was like, "This looks horrible." I was like, because her first experience with GTA is 5, and she's like, "This looks awful. How did you guys play this?" And I'm like, "That was amazingly beautiful."
Vice City was a huge step forward at the time.
It was.
It really was.
My 13-year-old daughter just shit on it. She was like, "This looks awful." What is this? She was like, "Oh my God, this is what GTA used to look like." And I'm like, "Shut up."
Oh no, it used to look worse than that,
Worse than
baby
that.
girl.
Top-down controls
Yeah.
and just zipping around. Oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, I got into trouble for buying the first GTA. My dad was pissed.
Wow.
I bought it and took it home, played it and everything, and I just had it sitting there out in the disc. Like, I bought it with my own money, so I didn't ask. I was whatever, 14 at the time. You know, who cares?
Money.
Yeah, my dad saw it, and he was like, "You need to take that back." I read the back. That's got to go back. I was like, "That's not fucking going back. That was $45." He was very angry. Anyway, let's move on. We all just told different stories. Yeah, EverQuest has a new expansion, so check that out. Cuisine Royale. As if this battle royale hasn't just had the most confusing name in the world to me anyway. Like, every time Q brings up Cuisine Royale, or is told something about Cuisine Royale, she's always disappointed that this isn't a food fight battle royale.
I mean, yes.
So they released...
The name was already misleading.
Yeah, they released a new update that ended up basically just turning it into a whole new game. In fact, that's exactly what it did. So now Cuisine Royale goes by the name Cursed Fode, with the U in cursed removed. Yeah, CRSEDFOAD, which stands for Cuisine Royale 2nd Edition. Fulfillment of all desire.
The first part you could almost get away with.
Almost.
In this day and age.
Almost.
But the Fode.
Yeah, almost.
Foad.
I mean, they did update a lot here. If you like this game, there is a ton of stuff that you might want to check out here. Now, the thing is, the audience isn't exactly thrilled with this one, Wilfredo, because it is basically taking away their previous game. I mean, there's new maps, new weapons, but there's kind of more of a focus on different heroes themselves. There's vehicles, an amphibious car, the ability to shoot out of moving vehicles. Like, there's a lot changed here. And, you know, normally those types of upgrades feel good, Wilfredo, but it's not exactly getting the warmest reception from Cuisine fans.
This feels like a new PUBG. I mean, that's all I can really get from this. There's some really cool things that I saw in it, but I was like, this is PUBG. That's all this is. And I can understand why people might be a little upset, because it's not what they were expecting. This is a complete diversion from the original game. So yeah, I'd be, you know, if somebody said to me, "Hey, we're going to give you steak and lobster," and brought out a bowl of soup, I'm going to be pissed.
Now, overall, it's reviewing very positive. I don't want to give the impression that it's not reviewing well. In fact, if you go to Steam, it's got, well, see, that's misleading. I don't want to give the numbers because it's misleading. It is hugely misleading. It is generally, it's because Troy, they did the old switcheroo up as a new game on Steam. It's actually the same page as was previously Cuisine Royale. So if you look, it still says released December 2019 and has like 30,000 very positive reviews. Its recent reviews are high too, But if you actually go down and you look into the reviews themselves, there are and I don't know how representative of the overall fan base this is. If you're a fan of Cuisine Royale, by all means, put in the comments your thoughts on this new version. We'll be happy to share them on next week's show. But I'm seeing like players since 2018 turned off ever since they added mythical elements to the game. It used to be just simple kitchen tools with World War I, World War II guns back then. And there is an element of that was kind of the draw for the game was here you go. Adding things usually seems like a good idea to your game, but maybe not. Maybe not all the time.
Not if you're going to completely change up what the core of what your existing player base is used to. This isn't the first time we've seen something like this, and the player base sort of revolts. Did a first look on one of those, but anyway, yeah, the using of the existing page for something that's way different than what the player base was used to, I would be upset too. This is not the same game. This is just what the world needs is another battle royale, by the way. Lord knows we don't have enough of those. The class base, it's kind of funny because I was watching the trailer and several of those hero classes, whatever you want to call them, stuck out to me. Especially the very first one I think they show, a straight Thor Odinson rip. I mean, Bifrost summoning and everything. And you'll pay attention, one of the other guys who gets down on all fours and runs, that's the Beast from the Unbreakable universe, M. Night Shyamalan. I mean, straight up. So, yeah, cool. Great originality, I guess.
Yeah, and I really like Gaijin Entertainment on a lot of fronts. War Thunder, you know, stuff like that. And you know, while this isn't a game I personally would have played, it found its mark and found its audience, and maybe it'll be fine, and maybe it'll be, you know, grow its audience in a different direction and here and stuff. But I do worry that when you make large-scale changes to what is a smaller-ish game in its own genre, obviously it has a fair amount of players. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just, in the Battle Royale, it's not one of the top 3 or 4 you think of, right? When you make large-scale changes and then rebrand your product, I think that generally can lead to a confusing time or an unhappy time for some of the people that have been playing it for a while and liked certain aspects of it. And they did make changes to the cash shop too, and a lot of people not happy about those. So I'd be interested, if you are a Cuisine Royale fan, definitely let us know in the comments what you think. Obviously, our experience here is dependent on what we see people talking about, and the people that are unhappy are generally the more vocal. So maybe, you know, they're fewer than they're being represented on the internet. Now, we're going to stop there with the updates, but I'm going to give you SWTOR added its 6.2 update. New content, new Flashpoint, moving the Satil Shan storyline, emote system. The emote system is actually a nice quality of life thing. A new login, nice. Yeah, a new login bonus. So system. So log in, get some free goodies. I know I've seen you on Discord, Troy, partaking of the SWTOR lately.
SWTOR every day. I've got a guild. We run ops constantly. Yeah, I play SWTOR daily now at this point.
Vigor and Warframe have console releases. Vigor on the PlayStation or on the Sony consoles. Warframe across all consoles released its Deimos Arcana update. So even on the Xbox, that one was originally delayed a little bit, but it came out as well. You can read about all of these over on mmobomb.com. We already talked about Genshin Impact's 1.2 update coming. Gwent added a new expansion. The Cycle added Season 3.5 for a game that's in beta. How the fuck have you had 3.5 seasons? Stop it. I like that game. So yes, tons of updates this week and releases. Check out the site for details on all of those and more, by the way. Speaking of updates, a game that desperately needs one, Troy, Hearthstone, still coming under fire for its new progression system. They are going to make changes. Tell us a little bit about them.
Well, they're gonna take out some of the grinding and some of the requirements to complete some of this progression, where you needed like high end cards, things that were harder to get. And there's been a lot of pushback from the community, definitely. And I remember the last time I was on the show, we actually talked about this. They were getting ready to implement it. And I was like, a good progression system will keep people playing.
Yep.
That's
both you and Jason felt the same on this topic.
Yeah, just doing, not just login rewards, just getting in the game, completing objectives, getting rewards for that is super fun. It's great, even if it's a little grindy. But obviously, they went way overboard. They probably were steering towards the cash shop a little bit. Buy packs, you need these cars to do this and that, and they've definitely. They've let some of that go a little bit. They've said, hey, there were some mistakes made. We're going to make some changes going forward. You guys aren't happy. We're going to actually listen and do something about it this time, which is great. At least they are listening and not just, Activision said we have to cash shop you now, so here's your cash shop stuff.
Yeah, so they're trying to aim for faster progression, more rewards. Like you said, I mean, just to sum it up, that's what they're going to do. What they're going to do is they're going to kind of revise. Initially, they're going to revise or remove some of the quests that people have the most problems with. Tavern brawls and battleground matches will grant progress when appropriate. Higher levels will require about 20% less experience to advance overall than they currently do now. And those 100 post-50 level quests will be broken up into 300 levels, so to provide more regular rewards. This is all good, right? Lowering experience, increasing gold, Wilfredo. But I talked on this show before, and I don't know if you were there, if you watched it, that they've got to be very careful not to do a knee-jerk move here. Because the initial feeling is, all right, let's make the community a little happier by making experience less and put more gold in the past. But if you make a knee-jerk reaction and you overcompensate in that way, and then you have to pull it back, that is the worst thing you can do to your audience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's it's very touchy right now. It's a very fragile situation. I mean, at least in the article that Jason wrote, he mentioned how Ben Lee said, yeah, we had certain things that were implemented that we didn't mean to put in there, which is the reason why everything stacked up the way it did. But this is a very, very cautious tale for all developers out there who are doing this. If you're going to make any major progression changes, take the time to learn from the base stat. They were doing this based upon event stats. Then to say, okay, well, we need to fix all this, and then go back, and now they're going to potentially push forward again. You have to be very incremental. Take your baby steps. And I think if they break it down the right way, they can get it right. But we're talking about Blizzard fans. If the wind changes, they're arguing about something.
Oh my. Yeah, game director Ben Lee was kind of asked what happened. Like, and we asked this on the show. It's like, you had the numbers. Like, this was math. This wasn't a programming mistake or a bug. This was math. How did you get math wrong? You have all the data. Well, and you kind of already mentioned it, Wilfredo. Lee said that event XP was figured into initial calculations, which made leveling particularly difficult when there was no event going on, like when it launched.
Come on, bro. Come on.
Bruh.
He also acknowledged that quests that required legendary cards or successful arena runs were a mistake, and we shouldn't have included them to begin with. As a way to apologize to you players, you can get 5 Dark Moon Fair packs for free and 500 gold if you log into the game between December 15th and 18th. So if you're a Hearthstone player, some freebies for you.
Oh, snap. I better get logged in.
It's January 18th. You got some time.
Oh, okay.
Oh, was it January? Did I misread it?
Yeah.
Let me go back and check. Let me make sure we're good on dates. Yeah, so you're right. I'm sorry. December 15th to January 18th. So 4 days from now until over a month from now. So
I got to wait 4 days for my rewards? Blizzard!
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
You're the worst company ever.
Did you see
they're like using the reward as an advertisement almost. Like
here, we're sorry we screwed up. Play our
next week, anybody that logs in, make sure to get it downloaded.
You get 5 packs. You get 5 packs.
It's 500 gold. All right, before we head over to the weekly bombs, let's talk a little bit about community management. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on these specific topics that I'm going to bring up themselves because I don't think, obviously we have like one side of things, and I don't want to get into the whole like he said, she said, they said type thing. But I want to use them as the segue to get your opinions on the difficulties that community managers have to go through, because they are really the front line when it comes to, or the public-facing front line, I should say, when it comes to all the negative as well as the positive feedback from the players, right? And sometimes, they're people too. It's important to remember those are people behind those Twitter names and handles.
Which is forgotten all too often.
The damn time. And the overwhelming preponderance of them are very, 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 very good people. Just like the overwhelming preponderance of gamers are very, very good people. But sometimes, because they're all human, they might fall prey to having a little bit of power, right? Or an overreaction due to an emotional response. All those things that all of us are capable of, right?
Very much so.
Right. And now whether who's right or who's wrong in these circumstances, I don't know. I have not spoken to all of the players involved, the dev teams, the community members, but EQ2 is having its own situation right now where the owner of EQ2 Wire Twitter account, EQ2 University, or EQ2U on the website, which is a big-ass resource for EQ2 players, has been for a very long time now, got banned from the original forum, or from the official forums, for what they claim was just some less than complimentary language about the game. They weren't, lambasting the community team on the forums. In their words, they said Daybreak had an IT disaster every other year, and they were kind of venting about those problems and got under the skin of one of the devs who went ahead and banned the account. And then sought out other accounts of that user and banned those, including one that the user claims never posted. So they specifically had to be looking for this person's accounts, not banning them because of a particular egregious post, but for the official, the actual user. On the Guild Wars 2 side of things, content creator Wooden Potatoes found themselves in a little bit of hot water during a PvP tournament match, using some slurs and some language, because he noticed hackers in the match and figured, reporting hacking doesn't get noticed. I'll make sure this gets noticed for the tickets by making sure to use bad language that I know will flag and will cause this game, this match, this setting, whatever, to be reviewed. And that might not generally be the best way to go about some things.
Yeah.
Because then the hackers took advantage and used screenshots of that language to smear him all over the internet and attempt to get Wooden Potatoes removed from the game's partner program. Now, those are two examples, and yeah, generally they're probably the more extreme examples. That's why we're not going deep into them. Those are what those claimants allege. We don't have ArenaNet side. We don't have Daybreak side or any additional information that might be missing from their, if any, their retelling of the events. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about community management here, because we do a little bit of it, but they do a lot of it when you're talking about a game, Troy. And there's definitely a fine line, delicate balance that you need for that particular job.
I can't even imagine the large scale that these folks work with, the amount of human beings they have to interact with on a positive and negative basis. I've worked with community managers, been a community manager on very small scales. And even on the very small scale that I've been, I will never community manage again. I have no interest in that. It's not worth it. You have to be a special kind of person to be able to just filter that and treat it professionally. it's rough. And like I said, I can't even imagine with dealing with thousands, if not millions, for some of these folks, of people on a daily basis going in and answering questions and hearing the complaints and supposedly being the filter between the player and the developers for a lot of these guys. It's hard. It's rough. Look, I'm nobody on the internet, right? When I play games, I'm nobody. I'm very small. But when I'm in a game and I'm out there on a character that I know I've streamed or been wrote about or something, or I have an account name that is Noob Fridge or something along those lines, even as little and small as I am, I have to always have in the back of my mind, what if? What if this is the one person who recognizes me and this is the time that I'm ranting and raving and doing something dumb? That's always, always, always in the back of my mind. If you're larger than me, that's the downside to doing what we do, the things that we enjoy doing shows like this and putting your opinion out there in reviews and first looks. That's the downside. You have to know somewhere along the long line, somebody is going to recognize you. And if you do something negative that you really know better than do, it's going to be put under a magnifying glass at some point.
And again, most community managers are very, very good.
Yes.
The overwhelming majority of them are very, very good. But flip side, devil's advocate here a little bit, Wilfredo. When you see things like what EQ2 Wire is claiming, and again, if that is the complete story, huge caveat there. We only have one side of this thing. We have seen other community issues in the past where there is an overreaction from the community manager's side, not the player's side. In this case, if all is said is true and they were just saying, hey, look, man, Daybreak, what's going on? Other games get these server issues fixed or these website issues and server issues fixed in 3 or 4 hours because it's a pretty easy problem. It takes you 5 days. What the heck's going on? Boom, 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 boom. Everything banned. That's a bit of a gross overreaction to having the question asked. And, maybe they were a little snarky about it. That's fine, but you're a community manager. Now, if somebody's berating you and swearing at you for these servers, fine. Yeah, take some disciplinary action. But if somebody's like, hey, WTF, Daybreak, come on. Everybody else, 3 to 4 hours. You guys, 5 days. What is going on? This isn't a hard fix. Can we get an update? Banned? That does happen out there too. And I think it's just, Wilfredo, everybody forgets that on the other side of the computer is a human. All the time.
Yeah.
Whether that be the community manager not being remembered as a human or the community manager not remembering that the person they're dealing with is also a human.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest part of the reason why I don't really put myself out there on social media is because everybody acknowledges the media, but they never acknowledge the person who's behind it. So I can barely even fathom the amount of chaos that a community manager has to go through, but even they go through stress. And yeah, maybe this is an egregious overstep, but if we look at it from the perspective of there's a person working on this, we should take a moment to say, how would we want to feel about that? Like if we were in their position. Now, if again, somebody was to just be rude and cruel to somebody just because they want to be, I can understand that. If they're being, unruly, they're violating the forum rules. Get that, ban them. But if I were to say, hey, this is wrong. You cooked my chicken wrong. Can you fix it? And you're just like, get out of my restaurant. I'm not giving you a horrible critique. I'm just giving you feedback. And because of the fact that in this case for EQ2, yeah, Daybreak did have a lot of issues when it came to their IT side, and they always had server issues. To ban somebody's account to go, you know what, this particular person pressed all the wrong buttons today and ticked them all off. That's one of those things where the company has to go, okay, we saw this, we got this claim. Let's investigate this. What was this about? And if one of your accounts doesn't post anything and you ban that, then you really have to look at the community manager at that point. Because now their human side, which is a thing, is coming out. And they're allowed to have that, but they have to rectify the action. They have to justify it. There's no justification for this. So I feel as though, being a human, especially in 2020, this is a very difficult thing to kind of work through. But I think on both sides, we just have to understand these are people. Yes, we can find bots all the time. These are people. You're a gamer or you're a game developer, publisher, whatever. You're a person at the end of the day. If you have a grievance, put it in the forums. Let it be known. If it doesn't get fixed, it's not on you. You've done your part. It's up to the community manager now to try to see if they can make that work.
Couldn't have said it better, my friend.
Don't go after these people. They're humans. Come on.
Oh, my. The Cyberpunk review stuff is just another example of what is
Don't get me started.
wrong with people. What is wrong with people? These are video games, for God's sakes.
Mhm.
So, Troy, I heard you thought Cyberpunk was a 1 out of 10. Go tweet him. Go tweet him. Blow up that Twitter profile. All right. Anyway, last thing, talking about community. Excuse me. Rowdy Rogan, 6-year-old Call of Duty Warzone prodigy. Oh my God, this kid would just own me. That'd be so embarrassing, but he would just decimate me. Got his account banned yesterday while he and his father were streaming on Twitch. Now, this was the Warzone account, so it came from Activision. This wasn't like Twitch banning their Twitch account. And there's been no real reason given yet on why this happened. Now, there's speculation. Obviously, some people are thinking that this is probably age-related, since he's 6 years old and the game is rated M, and you're supposed to have parental guidance at age 13, and he's 6, so all accounts put him younger than all of those ages. So we're not really sure. Now, whether someone with administrative powers at Activision learning about his age or due to some other factor, Warzone is rated M, but he also clearly has his parents' blessing, by the way, to be playing this. He's playing it with his dad right there. And again, we just talked about like how I raised my kids, and so these parents have opted to do it differently. Who am I to say which is right or wrong? I did what I felt was right for my kids. If they feel it's okay for their kids, I'm in no position to tell them they're right or wrong. So I don't want to get into the debate of, like, are they good or bad parents because they let their 6-year-old do this? I don't care. It's not my 6-year-old, not my house.
It ain't nobody's damn business.
Yeah, not my house. So I just want to throw that argument away right now. We're not even going to have that argument. Whether you think they're good or bad parents really doesn't matter to the topic at hand, which is Activision banning their account, and really, at least publicly, no real notification on why, Troy.
They probably just don't want to admit that why they banned the kid. They probably just don't want to say it out loud, because at the end of the day, his dad is there playing it with him. Obviously, his parents are running all his social media accounts and all that. Step the F back. It's the parents' call on what they want to do with their children. Right or wrong is not abusive, obviously. A parent deciding what video game they want their kid to play ain't none of your business. Ain't none of your business.
Yeah, but
Period.
Do you think, okay, devil's advocate this on the other side here.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Activision and you have these rules, right, we're rated M, so 17 and up. We put in our guidelines that if you are, 13 and up, that you should probably play with parental, supervision and stuff like that. If you're a company that makes a product that comes under fire periodically, basically every year in some way for Call of Duty, whether it be narrative or otherwise, when you have a high-profile streamer that is video evidence of your suggestions of all of these rules in place, I'm not saying they should have banned him. I'm not. And again, this may not even be my opinion. I'm devil's advocating here. I'll give my opinion in a second. that could be a bad look for your company, Wilfredo, that like you can't at one time on one hand say we respect these rules. We want people to follow these rules. This is a mature game. We want mature people playing it. If you're slightly under the age, then we want your parents involved. 6 is by no means what Activision probably intended their audience to be for this title. You can't then, on the other hand, be okay with the amplification, glorification, revenue stream that comes with somebody not abiding by those guidelines using your product to generate.
But at the end of the day, they would drop those ratings if they could in a heartbeat and sell those games to 4-year-olds if they could. They don't care. Those ratings are not there because out of the goodness of their heart, they decided to rate this game this. They're there because they're regulated and told they have to put those ratings on those games.
Wilfredo?
Yeah, so I'm Googling it right now. So the rated M for mature title basically says generally suitable for persons 17 and up. It doesn't say exclusively. Now that's for AO titles. This is very much that area of gaming where you have to ask the question, where's the actual line? Because this is always going to be on a moving slider. Mind you, Rowdy Rogan's dad is watching him on the stream. He's with him playing the game. If anything, that should be assigned to Activision. Hey, there is parental supervision. There shouldn't be a problem with this. They are upholding that end of the bargain, and they should let that go. But also on the other side, they're probably looking at it like, what if we get called out for allowing this to happen? Well, you put the game out there. And it happened when GTA 3 came out, GTA 4, GTA 5, all the games came out that had mature rated titles on them. Yeah, I'm just getting it for my kid. No one bothers to ask, how bad is it? And those who do, I'm not going to get it. You're a prime example of this. That's all this is. It's a sliding scale. Give the kid back his account. His dad is playing with him. Come on. Sad.
Well, all three of us are in agreement, by the way. So my own personal opinion is you stay the fuck out of it. They are just like, I'm not going to tell these parents how to raise their kid just because I've opted to raise mine differently when it comes to mature content in games or screen time, or even I disagree with these parents for my own kids on social media usage. They weren't allowed to have a Facebook or a Twitter or a Twitch or anything until they were at least 13, which, by the way, is the guidelines for those services in most cases. But, so fine. I raised my kids differently than these parents. One's not right. One's not wrong. It's what was right for me. This is apparently what's right for them. Go for it. I can understand a little bit why Activision might have concerns here. While I don't think I don't think legally they're breaking the law. I do think there is an element of, if he wasn't doing it on Twitch, they never would have done anything. But because it is felt like they had to do anything, do I think they overstepped? Yes. But can I understand why they thought they might have needed to intervene in some way? I could also see that, if I'm being totally honest, why Activision might want to say, hey, we should have a talk about this. Because this might not be the look we're going for. Because then we can't really, next time we're under fire, say, we don't let kids play it. So I can understand why they might have wanted to open some conversation and some dialogue. Again, is it a community knee-jerk reaction? Ban it? I think so.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love Old Glory's comment in chat, by the way. If he was buying their loot boxes, they wouldn't care.
You're right. Absolutely right.
Touche.
They get your priorities in line.
Touche. Well, we're going to slide over here and get started with the weekly bombs. But before we do, I wanted to show you guys Gamer Power. This is our sister site, gamerpower.com, GAMERPOWER.com. If you like free stuff in games, free expansions to games, and hell, sometimes just free games in general, whether they're free to play or buy to play, you want to sign up for an account on our sister site here, gamerpower.com. It is absolutely free to you. There is no premium membership or anything like that, so there's not even an option for you to spend money on here. If you wanted to, you can't. Go sign up for an account, get a bunch of free stuff, get notifications after you've built your profile on what games you like, and we'll recommend giveaways as they come live for you, whether it's for those specific games or games like the ones you've selected. The site will even track all of your giveaways, letting you know how much you haven't spent. And then there's all kinds of new API functionality that we just introduced into the site to track giveaways as well and get notifications on those. So check it out, gamerpower.com. And on that note, let's slide over and get started with the Weekly Bombs! Here we go. Time to give the Weekly Bombs, gentlemen. I'm going to go first. I'm going to give a dub bomb to Slapshot Rebound. We had a blast with that on stream last week after the free-to-play cast last Friday, so I wanted to bring it up here. Now, is it a game I can probably play every day? No, it just isn't. It's not that for me. Is there a competitive scene for this and people that will? Sure. It is a physics-based ice hockey game. There's no passing or pass button or shoot button. It is physics-based, so think Rocket League except ice hockey. It is a lot of fun. It is very goofy. It is definitely the type of thing you want to grab a couple of friends and play 3-on-3, particularly if nobody's played before, because people that have played quite a bit, just like Rocket League, when you get dunked on by a grand champ, there are people in this game that are going to dunk on you pretty hard that have been playing it. But get a couple of friends, jump in. It's definitely worth at least an evening or two of laughing. So I give it a dub bomb, thumbs up. Maybe not one I'm going to play all that often, but when I'm hanging out with friends, definitely one I'll consider saying, oh, hey, everybody sit down. Let's take a look and try this out. Go ahead, Troy.
I'm going to give an A-bomb to the bugs in Cyberpunk 2077. I have officially decided to wait a couple of weeks to actually play. I'm going to give it some time and let the bugs get sorted out, because outside of that, it looks like it's going to be a really good game. And dub-bomb to the Disney investor call yesterday.
Yeah.
If you haven't caught up on all of that, and you want a daily nerdgasm, you need to go to YouTube right now and start watching, specifically, obviously, Marvel and Star Wars stuff. Oh my God. If you don't have a Disney Plus subscription, you need one soon.
Yeah, that was a good show for Star Wars fans in particular. I don't care about the Marvel stuff. I'll leave that to you. But the Star Wars stuff, oh.
Dude.
Wilfredo.
So much stuff, you will not be disappointed.
Agreed. But I got to give out an A-bomb to the gaming fan community. Unfortunately, it had to happen after watching the Game Awards last night and reading through the chat. Just when somebody would win something, rigged, boo, blah. We gotta stop. We just gotta stop. Part of the reason I stopped playing WoW was because of the community was so toxic. We're toxic to one another. It's the end of 2020. Can we go into the next decade with a little bit of just some love and compassion, man?
Nope. Next question. If you're looking for something less toxic than WoW, go play Rocket League. So toxic. Terra Nova in chat gives an A-bomb and dub bomb to Cyberpunk 2077. I'm loving it, but that has issues that need sorting out. It definitely does. I streamed that on Wednesday on Ready Check Radio. That'll be my stream tonight on Ready Check Radio 2, picking up where we left off. Old Glory, A-bomb to MiHoYo Genshin Impact for calling their YouTube premiere video a live stream and giving away on said premiere video code with limited use, so most of the 90K viewers did not get the goodies, and goodies was not even enough for one wish. WTF, why do they need to set a limit on a code? Not like they gave away 10 wishes or something really rare. Well, premiere video chat was on fire, I bet. Ninja Pan has given a dub bomb to Cyberpunk 2077 for finally coming out, giving its problems, and to the new Mass Effect trailer, which showed Liara at the end of it. It looks like it's going to continue from Mass Effect 3, hopefully. Giving an A-bomb to Amazon for making me wait for my Cyberpunk 2077 hardcover guide. It's past the 10th already, but willing to give it a couple more days. I assume that was passed. That is the word pasted. I didn't misread it. I assume it meant passed. Jace, dub bomb to getting outstanding work payment and getting Cyberpunk 20. This is a free-to-play show, guys. We always advertise that the bombs can be whatever, so don't worry about it. Dub bomb to getting outstanding work payment and getting Cyberpunk 2077. Won't play till Monday since I have last weekend work scheduled for the year. Gaming just feels good this week. Stojan A-bomb to the next gen console for not being available in Macedonia. Cat the Glitch A-bomb to moving so many A-bombs, lots and lots and lots of A-bombs to moving houses. Guardian Vale dub bomb to Disney, the new Star Wars show, movies, A-bomb, Cyberpunk reviews. Speaking of shows, by the way, we should note next week will be the last free-to-play cast of 2020 because Friday falls on Christmas, or Christmas falls on Friday, and so does New Year's. So we will have our normal show next Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll kind of wrap up with our top 10 lists or stuff like that. And then we will come back and see you January 8th. So next Friday, last show for 2020. From the viewers on YouTube or on the website, Rickshaw chiming in about our new presentation of the show. Nice work, much better color and look. Thank God no more blank space. This is a much better pro presentation with great cut to scenes. Overall, top improvement by many miles, kilometers, even light years ahead of its past. Thank you very much. A lot of people gave same feedback. Rickshaw did give some other feedback there. It was very particular to a particular graphic and maybe tweak this and stuff. We will pass that to the artist and see if they want to make those changes. Go ahead, Troy.
Scott Frame, dub bomb for smooth-ass transitions of gameplay footage. Go, Mike, go.
Yeah. Go ahead, Wilfredo.
Probably going to butcher this, but Kuristraza always picking on Jason's white wall assets.
Hell yeah, we do. The man needs a fucking poster. Kitsuruha, episode 6, dub bomb for Robin, a new host.
His mailing address, and I'm going to send this man something to put on his wall, and it's going to be glorious.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
We should coordinate. Yes, definitely dub bomb to Robin. And a lot of people getting Robin feedback on the show saying, man, she's really chill. She's awesome. She's really chill. Like, yes, Robin is very cool, and she is very chill. She'll be back as a steady host starting in January as well, too. Go ahead, Troy.
Raggerty, dub bomb to Magic Man for the visualization of me in the back of BlizzCon yelling, no! I would totally do that.
Yeah, Raggerty definitely would. Definitely would. Question of the week last week, is the Daybreak sale a good thing for fans of the games they oversee? Maybe you don't like the company now. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the games themselves. Is this a good thing? Why or why not? Evil Cracky, chiming in, hoping they'll upgrade the servers for EverQuest 2. I still raid 3 days a week in that game. Fun. There,
the old EverQuest crowd
there
are just
is one of the dedicated. Go ahead, Troy.
Raggerty, question of the week. I think I played 2 of the games that they own or keep running as I see it. Had no idea they had PlanetSide 2 until I wanted to dip into it again for some nostalgia. The only thing I was concerned about was if my cash purchase that I made when the game came out were still there. As far as I could remember, they are so as long as that doesn't change, all good. Do whatever you want with the game as long as they don't shut it down. It always sucks to buy things with real money in game for them to close down later. Been there, done that. Super Monday Night Combat. Game was fun, but I think it was just too ahead of its time as a hero shooter MOBA FPS.
It's really funny to think of Super Monday Night Combat as ahead of its time. But I get your point. Question of the week this week, going into our last show of 2020 next week. What are your gaming holiday plans? What games do you intend to sink the most time into over the next few weeks? Maybe you've got some vacation coming up. Maybe you're going to have a few days off for the holidays. Maybe your family's leaving you alone because they're not allowed anywhere near your house because people can't wear masks. So what are your gaming plans? What are you going to do over the next couple of weeks? Let us know what you're playing, whether it's free to play or not. It's totally fine, as you saw from all the other bombs. Or give us your, something good or bad going on in your life outside of gaming. If you have a question for the panel, bring that here. But remember, you got to pick it up. Been slacking on the bombs and the weekly feedback. Until next time, though, Wilfredo, where can everybody find you?
Find me on Twitter, Damien X Marius. I'm going to probably start putting some polls out there for ideas for campaigns.
Oh, all right. Troy?
You can find me in Star Wars The Old Republic on a nightly basis, and also on Twitter at NoobFridge.
I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me personally right there on Twitter at magicman, but more importantly, follow at MMOBomb so we can tweet at you all the latest news, articles, giveaways, first look videos, and so much more. It's been fun. Stay safe, and we'll see you on the servers.